I agree with every one of my opponents. I think the United States should be ran on a progressive tax. We got to tax the rich more and tax the poor less. Because if you're taking away $1,000 from someone who makes $100,000 and you're also taking $1,000 from someone who makes $5,000, that doesn't seem fair because they're obviously losing less than the one with $100,000. If we're taxing everybody the same, then it's gonna put a bigger burden on the poor. Meaning we're not gonna have a strong middle class that we need to boost the economy and help the rich people get money, because if the poor people can't afford to buy things, big corporates won't make any money.
Mr. Shipper, should abortion be legal?
Under One America, Roe v. Wade will be overturned. Now, let me clear that up. Abortion, as it is now, it's barbaric. It really is. In One America, we are going to legalize abortion when A, the mother is going to die during pregnancy, or B, the baby is going to be born with a life-threatening illness or is going to die in the womb. Anybody else, there's always adoption.
I'm not here to tell you what to do. With your life, you are able to do whatever you want. I don't tell you to, hey, don't get a tattoo, don't do drugs, don't drink alcohol. It's not my place to tell you what to do with your own body. But I do say that after the first trimester, abortion should not be allowed unless it is detrimental to the woman's life, because then the child is actually causing a problem with the other person's life. But in the first trimester, it's not my choice to tell you what to do with your own life.
I understand that bad things happen which could cause a woman to want to get an abortion. I, however, do not think it's fair. I think abortion should be legalized, but it should be restricted. I do not believe that you should be able to get 8 abortions by the time you're 16. I think it needs to be monitored, and I think there needs to be an actual reason on why you are getting an abortion. You cannot just get an abortion just because you want to or you thought it was a mistake. That's when, as Blake said, adoption comes into play. But if you think it's a mistake, then you should have done it in the first place. I do not think abortion should be completely legal. It should be restricted.
But restricted. Imagine 10 years down the road, your 8th grade daughter gets raped and she ends up getting pregnant. Do you want her to have that child? No. She could have an abortion. Then there's families in poverty who cannot afford the children that they have. So why should they have another child that they can't afford if they don't want that choice? Of course there are adoptions, and that would be a recommended setting also. Also, there are people who have medical issues, including the mother and the child.
Mr. Walls, what are your views on the legalization of marijuana?
Just with I just actually clarified this in the last question. It's not my choice to tell you. Yes, THC does cause chemical damage in your body, but it's not my choice to tell you. Alcohol does the same thing. When you're high, you're not actually going to go out and rob a bank. You're not going to go attack someone like you could if you were drunk. So actually, alcohol should be more restricted than marijuana, because marijuana, you don't have a social problem with it. Most of the time, you just stay home and you stay alone, and you don't really go and cause problems in society like you can when you're doing other drugs. So marijuana is not a problem in this country like we're trying to portray it as.
Marijuana should be legal. I think it should be legal and it should have an excise tax, just like alcohol and cigarettes do. Just like you said, alcohol does more damage to your body than marijuana does. So if alcohol is legal and has an age restriction and you're able to buy it, then why shouldn't we? I think marijuana should definitely be legal.
I think marijuana should be legalized. You can legalize it, tax it, and use that money. But some people say that marijuana should not be legal because others can get addicted to it. But studies show that you can't get addicted to the actual marijuana, you just get addicted to the feeling of it. And it could be a gateway to other drugs, but if we tax it and other people who have cancer are using it for medical reasons and to make them feel better, then why should we legalize it?
No, okay, your time is up. Now, back to my point. We're not going to legalize marijuana.
America, everyone. Don't make any contact.
We're not going to legalize marijuana. We're going to decriminalize marijuana. Now, here's the difference. It's still going to be illegal, but the government's going to turn a blind eye. There we go. One America.
Miss Dia, how would you keep jobs in America?
How would I keep jobs in America? I would keep jobs in America by investing in a domestic clean energy economy. We would be powered by solar systems or wind power, which would not only create more jobs in America, but it would also make us not rely so much on foreign oils.
To keep jobs in America, I would take people who work overtime or work more than 12 hours a day and cut their shifts. That way some more people could work for them. Also, I would eliminate machines and use people for those jobs. For example, how many of you go to the self-checkout in Walmart? There's 8 more people that could be cashiers at Walmart if we just eliminated the self-checkouts.
Mr. Lace's 4th hour class, where are you at?
Yes!
Remember, the biggest badass in history, Theodore Roosevelt. What did he do? He fought for the common man's job. He didn't fight for big business. He broke big business up. And that's exactly what we're going to do. We're not going to fund big business in America. No, we're going to start at the grassroots and work our way up. That way, people who operate big business will start from the bottom and then work their way up to the top. It's very simple. You saw the lyrics, quote it all. We started from the bottom, and now we're here.
Look at your shoes, your clothes, and maybe even your hair products. They're made in other countries, and why? Because other countries are able to pay their workers far less than an American worker. My proposal is that we create a regulated global economy in which other countries are now forced to pay the same minimum wage that we do. Then, what would happen is the shipping costs would override the production costs. So then you would have to have jobs more in America instead of shipping all of your products from another country.
Ms. Miller, should immigration laws be stricter, and what are your views on immigration?
I believe there should be stricter immigration laws. I feel that we should let in fewer immigrants each year, but we also have to keep it in our minds that our own people are suffering also. So why should we let these people in our country just to suffer when they can have it better back home?
Unlike Emma, I believe that immigration should be less strict. Let me share a story with you. This summer, my mom and sister were in a terrible accident. My sister broke her pelvis, she had to be flown to Rockford. She was hit by an illegal alien. No insurance, no driver's license. What happened? He walked off. That is not what America stands for anymore. And I vote that if you vote me in the office, I will legalize illegal alien laws, and that everybody can become a citizen. That way we can track them down and actually try them for what they've done.
The problem is when people think of immigration, they think of illegal aliens, when actually that's not the actual problem. The problem is people come into this country and what happens? More people are here, so that means you have to fight against them for the same job. If we just don't let more people into this country, we have a better country because more people stay where they're supposed to. And instead, now we don't have a large country full of 50 billion people.
I do not think that immigration laws should be stricter. I think immigration laws are fine. People view America, and Americans persuade their country to be land of prosperity and land of opportunity. And that's exactly what they're coming over here to do. They're coming over here to try to make a better life for them and their family. And if America's all about being a big country, then why not let people, why not help people out? Isn't that what we're all about? And then you want to just send them back for no reason. I agree that if they do something wrong, then yeah, they should be sent back. But if they're here just living their lives, trying to do better for their family, then there's no reason for them to be sent back. They didn't do anything wrong yet.
Mr. Shipman, do you believe in the death penalty?
There are far worse things than death. And thank you for this question. I've been thinking about this one a lot. Under American law, the death penalty shall stand. However, it will have a new meaning. If you are convicted of the death penalty, you will be stripped of your citizenship. You are no longer a citizen of the United States. You are now property of the United States. What will happen is you'll be stuck in one room with a bed and a bike, hooked to an electric generator. And what you will do is you will pedal 6 hours a day and provide free, clean energy for the people of America. But remember, at the end of the day, we all come from different places. But together, we make one America. Thank you.
In my opinion, death is permanent. Do you want a permanent punishment, or do you want an everlasting punishment for someone to remember why they are punished? When you do commit a crime against another person, I feel that you should understand that you aren't going to just escape easily with death. You should be punished for the rest of your life. And actually, Blake's idea is kind of cool, but I don't feel like it should just be a clean energy source. I feel like a person should be stuck in a room and watch that crime over and over again.
I do not believe in the death penalty. I think death is a lot of times viewed as the easy way out. For example, the guy who shot up NIU, he heard the sirens and he killed himself because that was the easy way out. By giving a death penalty, we're giving these criminals who committed terrible, terrible crimes, and we're giving them the easy way out. And I think that's ridiculous. I think they need to put in a jail cell and suffer, and continue to suffer for what they did to those people. And not only that, but the death penalty costs a lot of money, and that's just, we're just wasting money.
I do not believe in the death penalty, and just as Melissa said, the death penalty is the easy way out. If my future daughter is raped by Bob, I want Bob thrown in a sail with Bubba Joe and have him spend the rest of his life with him.
Mr. Walls, what is your view on gay rights and marriage?
As I said with abortion, my job as president is not to tell you how to live your life. I feel like this whole problem combating gay rights is just a complete waste of money. Why are we fighting to tell someone that they can't live their life the way that they are allowed? What is it in this country that makes people feel like they have the choice to tell someone else how they live? I don't tell you what you should do with your own life. So why do you feel like you should tell someone else how to do the same?
We have this wonderful document that is ran by our country. It's called the Constitution. And the 14th Amendment states that we are granted equal rights against other people. And if I have the right to get marry a guy, then anyone else should have a right to marry whoever they choose. Marriage is a right. Who you marry is your choice. And I don't even think gay rights should be a question. I just think it should be granted because it is stated in the Constitution, equal rights.
I believe gay rights is perfectly acceptable, but I also believe that homosexuals should be allowed to marry one another. However, if the church that they want to be wed at refuses to marry them, I feel they have that right too. But I don't understand why the country should be able to say who they can love and who they can marry, because that's not right. If they love each other and want to be together, they should be able to.
America has a beautiful law called the separation of church and state. Under the administration of One America, gay marriage will be legalized by the country. However,